Dear students, now we are going to discuss principles of inheritance and variation. So simply, this chapter is genetics, plant and animal genetics. So myself is concerned with plant genetics, principles of inheritance and variations in plants. So what about the main contribution made by Mendel? The main one was the founder for plant genetics or a branch, genetics branch, that was a branch of biology, who laid foundation for the development of that science into separate branch. That is a father of genetics, Gregor John Mendel. So what was the objective of Mendel? Contributions of Mendel. And before that, we should know what about inheritance and variation. Inheritance is a process by means of which characters present in parents passed on to offspring, and that inheritance is basis for heredity. Out of siblings present in a family, they are having certain number of characters in common, and these characters are coming from the parents' own. That is called as hereditary, coming from the parents. Inheritance. So inheritance is a mechanism by means of which heredity is achieved. Okay. So what was the main objective of Mendel? To study mechanism of inheritance. The aim of Mendel was to study the mechanism of inheritance, not to produce hybrid varieties, just to study inheritance mechanism. So here I'm giving definition of inheritance also. Inheritance is a process, a mechanism, process by which characters or traits are passed from or transferred from, passed from parents to progeny or offspring. progeny or offspring. That inheritance is basis for heredity, and inheritance basis for heredity. Heredity. So during his experiments, what he traced out? Factor. Factors. Some factor. Chemically, physically, what was that factor was not known by Mendel. So that factor was responsible for inheritance. Inheritance is because of factors responsible for inheritance. That transfer of characteristics. And what about the chemical nature of a factor? Physical evidence, chemical evidence that was not known to Mendel. It was a factor. So physically, chemically, he was not aware of that factor. And that factor is able to decide genotype. Genotype. And that genotype is able to decide phenotype. Genotype means genetic constitution of an organism. Internal, invisible genetic makeup of organism is a genotype. If that genotype is expressed, that is called as a phenotype. So phenotype is a external visible manifestation. Visibility manifestation means visible in the form of a character. So phenotype means it's a character, visible character. Morphological character or simply phenotype is nothing but the visible morphological character. Morphological character. And it took a lot of time to assign a word genetic material, that is a DNA or RNA, to the factor. According to molecular basis of inheritance, we studied that that factor was a genetic material. But at the time of Mendel, it was a factor, potato genetics, potato genetic material. Potato genetic material factor is existing, but there was no experimental evidence. Finally, they consider that factor as a genetic material and that is able to decide a phenotype. So along with the inheritance mechanism, a parallel problem, parallel issue was tackled. So along with the study of inheritance, what is variation? Variation. Variations. Variation means degree, means quantity, how much. Degree, not graduation. Degree means how much, that much. Degree by which or amount are simply differences. Degree by which progeny differ from parents. So variation is nothing but differences, right? So along with genetics, means inheritance, what they studied, one more problem also solved, that is evolution. Parallel question was evolution also. Evolution also understood. That's why the unit name was genetics and evolution. So Mendel laid foundation for genetic material, and simultaneously he laid foundation for the construction of evolution. Evolution was because of that genetic material. Okay, so nowadays we are studying genetics and molecular base of inheritance because of the contributions made by Mendel, Sutton, Baveri. Go back to molecular base of inheritance also, Griffith, so many scientists, Hargobind Khorana, Nirenberg, Hornberg, son of Hargobind Khorana, Berner, Benzer, like this. So with the advancement of biology, we developed certain number of branches also. What are they? Molecular genetics, molecular genetics, structural biology, structural biology. Next, bioinformatics, and so many branches. Molecular genetics. What is molecular genetics? Study of genetic material, how genetic material is able to decide phenotypic characteristics. Structural biology. Structural biology means what are the biomolecules or compounds with the help of which the body is constructed. Structural means in our body, what are the components? For example, take a brick wall, cement wall or some wall. What are the structures involved in the construction of that structure? Brick, cement. Again, in cement, sand, concrete, so many things are there. That is a structural analysis of that one. Structural biology means what are the components involved in the construction of that body. Bioinformatics. Bioinformatics means on DNA, number of genes are present. What about the role of each and every gene? What type of product will be produced out of a particular gene? Okay, right? So with the advancement of genetics, molecular biology, structural biology, nowadays we are able to manipulate the genetic material present in the organisms. So after that, in the second paragraph, second page, they explained about the contributions of Watson and Crick. What about the contribution of Watson and Crick? Go back to molecular base of inheritance. Okay, they constructed a double helical structure of DNA, double stranded DNA, having phosphate sugar with the help of Wilkinson, Franklin, Pauling scientists. Already we discussed it in first year, same copy paste. So with the help of that, they constructed double helical DNA model, and they got a Nobel Prize for that one. Okay, right? So that is about introduction part. Next introduction part. The question is why an elephant is able to produce a elephant offspring only. Why do the mango plant is able to produce a mango plant only? Why not some other plant? That is a species concept. Naturally, reproduction is possible among the individuals of the same species. Species is sexually isolated. Of course, artificially we are doing some artificial experiments. That is different case to produce hybrid varieties. So naturally, among the same individuals of the same species, only reproduction is possible. So elephant is producing elephant. That is because of inheritance, hereditary characters. Of course, some variations are possible. In a family, siblings, kids, brothers, sisters, they're in some cases almost the same. In other cases, completely different. Almost same means same characteristics transferred to offspring. That is because of inheritance. And different brothers and sisters present in a family are different. For example, siblings, because of variations. These variations are because of genetic recombinations. So naturally, genetic recombinations are possible during one, meiosis, and second one is mutations. mutations also. These two recombinations which are taking place during meiosis, continuous variations. By means of mutations, discontinuous variations. So because of crossing over mutations, variations are possible in a offspring. Next, what about in this chapter, what we are going to discuss? So in this chapter, the main focus on loss of inheritance. What about loss of inheritance made by Mendel? And what about a monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, like that? And before that one, go back to variations. Variation means a degree by which the offspring is dissimilar from, differing from parents. So here, that variation is because of recombinations only. Go back to, according to evolution, means 8,000 to 1000 BC. We know that means primitive human being. They understood that variations were because of something hidden, something, some secret, whatever it is, hidden during sexual reproduction. So because of something which is happening at the time of sexual reproduction, variations are possible. So because of variations at the time, go back to strategies for enhancement in food production, artificial hybridization. So primitive human beings started a selection of certain number of organisms with desirable characteristics, which are able to serve our basic needs at the time. So that was dates back to 8,000 to 1000 BC. They selected certain number of plants and animals with desirable characteristics. They started cultivation, that is called as a domestication. And during that process, what they identified, because of sexual reproduction, variations are possible. They started exploitation of that. Exploitation means utilization of the character with or without permission. Generally, we are using exploitation for illegal utilization. Actually, we should not conduct sexual reproduction methods between two organisms of the same species without permission from the concerned species, but we are doing. That is against species concept or against species or not. We are not taking any permission. Are you taking permission from the plant at the time of harvesting, at the time of sexual reproduction? No. So that's why we are exploitation, means utilization of a natural resource there. What is that resource? Organisms are having genetic material. Recombinations are possible during sexual reproduction, because of which variants are possible. And these variants are able to produce concerned food or something which are they are able to serve our basic needs. So we exploited that nature of plants and animals, and they started artificial hybridization, selection of parents, artificial selection, and artificial hybridization between parent 1 and 2. That is nothing but artificial hybridization only. There one example was given. We domesticated certain number of cows, buffaloes from the forest, and they performed artificial hybridization, crossing, transfer of sperm from the male into the female. Nowadays, we have Sahiwal cow varieties in the case of animal husband, that is concerned with zoology part. Okay, so Sahiwal cow varieties, they are produced by means of artificial hybridization, selection, artificial. We are selecting. Selection is of two types. Nature is able to select, natural selection. Organisms which are able to survive, which are able to adapt the changing climatic conditions, are able to survive. Means nature is able to select organism which is able to adapt to the new climatic conditions. That is called as a natural selection. Artificial selection means we are selecting organisms according to our requirements. That is called as artificial selection. So Sahiwal cow variety in Punjab, that was breed, hybrid variety produced by means of, that is product of artificial hybridization between wild cow and concerned buffalo concerned one. Okay, so they crossed male and female in the case of cattle, and they able to produce, which is able to yield more quantity, more quality of quantity and quality of milk. It was product of artificial hybridization. So that is about exploitation of natural resources present in organisms. Okay, right? So that is about introduction part. Now, what about Mendel experiments? Mendel started artificial hybridization experiments on Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum, garden pea, a Fabaceae plant. And he started conducting artificial hybridization experiments on that plant during 19th century. During 19th century, headway progress was made to understand inheritance mechanism. And he conducted artificial hybridization experiments on Pisum sativum in the period 1856 to 1862, almost 4 plus 2, 7 years. One more, wait, 63, sorry, 63. So total duration of experiments, 4 plus 3, 7 years. 7 years he conducted experiments. So the period of artificial hybridization methods conducted by Mendel on Pisum sativum. How many years? 7 years. After that, what about date of publication? Date of publication is 1865 publication. Date of publication 1865. So here also again it took 2 years, sorry, 2 years time. There are 7 years. So 7 plus 2 overall. Okay, so period of artificial hybridization, 7 years. And he published it in the year of 1865. After publication, it took 2 years to publish it. After experiments, after complete analysis, it took 2 years to publish it. Took a lot of time or not? So now, what are the characteristics present in Pisum sativum plant influenced Mendel to select the Pisum sativum as an experimental material? Means what type of characters influenced Mendel to select Pisum sativum as an experimental material? So experimental plant. Okay, so Mendel selected a Pisum or Pisum sativum plant. It's a Fabaceae plant. And what are the characters that influenced Mendel to select the plant? What are they? First one, it is annual plant. Annual plant. Its lifespan is 1 year or less than 1 year. Okay, so easy to understand inheritance mechanism within 1 year. So instead of annual plant, for example, by mistake, he selected perennial plant. Perennial plant. And able to produce offspring after 5 years, for example. For results, he has to wait till the end of 5 years. Is it or not? Isn't it? So that's why he selected annual plant. And at the end of 1 year, definitely he can understand and propose a consent loss of inheritance. So that's why he selected a plant with a short lifespan. Next, this plant is able to produce bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers. Go back to Fabaceae and collect characteristics related to flower of Pisum sativum, garden pea, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, all are present. Calyx represented by 5 sepals, corolla 5 petals, papilionaceous corolla, androecium number of stamens 10 stamens. Next, gynoecium monocarpellary. Go back to Fabaceae and collect the information. Bisexual flowers. And naturally, this plant is with a self-pollination. With self-pollination. Naturally, self-pollination. Out of Fabaceae plants, particularly Pisum and Lathyrus. Pisum and Lathyrus. These two are with a self-pollination. Self-pollination. Next. Convenient. Convenient for cultivation, easy to cultivate, cultivation and crossing means suitable for cross pollination. Next, able to produce large offspring, large offspring. Next, it's a very small plant, annual and small plant, not occupying too much space, small plant. Next, so-called Pisum sativum with a number of with many inheritable characters, with many inheritable characters. Many characters are transferred from parents to offspring. For that one, we can study inheritance mechanism. Because of that, it is very easy to study inheritance mechanism. Many inheritable characters. Next. Plants are true breeding. True breeding. True breeding. So what is a true breeding? What is true breeding? For example, this is a Pisum sativum plant. One plant, take one plant. Continuous self-pollination. Self-pollination. Okay, continuous self-pollination. 5 years or 6 years or 10 years. Whatever the number of generations. Even after a number of generations, this progeny. So here, true breeding line. Line means progeny here. True breeding line. True breeding lines means progeny produced from a single parent by means of self-pollination, and that is with a stable trait inheritance. That word is very, very important. That is with a stable continuously, stable trait inheritance. How to understand that sentence? Go back. Come here. Pisum sativum. progeny produced. For example, X is the character. X is a character. X is a character. Here X I'm taking round seed. Take round seeds. Round seed, for example. This plant is able to produce round seeds. Round seeds. That is one character. Or you may take yellow seeds also. So round seeds are present in parent. Progeny also with round seeds. Round seeds. And now progeny is subjected again self-pollination. Certain number of generations. And again progeny produced. This progeny also with round seeds. Again continue it. Self-pollination. Progeny produced. With round seeds. For example, even after a number of generations, what about this character, this trait transferred from parent to offspring, from that to next one, next one, next one, and so on. So here in Pisum sativum, a number of characters are inheritable, inherited, passed on, or not. So that's why he selected. Okay, so as the character is transferred from one to other, next generation, it is very easy to understand inheritance mechanism. Come back. True breeding line means progeny produced from a single parent by means of constant self-pollination, and that is with a stable trait inheritance, same character passing from parent to offspring for a number of generations. That character is called as a stable trait inheritance, and that condition, that a plant condition, is called as true breeding line. Stable trait inheritance, same character is passed from generation to generation. Okay, so that character is called as a stable trait inheritance. Okay, next, one more character, that is a diploid plant. Additional statement, additional one. It is a diploid. What is the dominant plant body? Sporophyte or not? 2n chromosome number is 14, diploid. So sporophyte. Dominant phase is a sporophyte. 2n diploid, 14, and gametophytes are dioecious. So because of these characters, he selected a Pisum sativum as an experimental material. Okay, right? Next, success story of Mendel. A number of scientists conducted artificial hybridations on plants, but only Mendel became father of genetics. So what was the secret behind the success story of Mendel? Okay, so one is the selection of a plant. What are the other things, merits of Mendel, success story of Mendel? So out of a number of geneticists, Mendel was most successful geneticist regarding proposal of loss of inheritance. Reason one is a experimental plant. Other things, what are they? First one, statistical analysis and mathematical logic. mathematical logic. Statistics, preparation of ratios, simply utilization of mathematics to provide a mathematical basis of observations. A number of scientists worked on artificial hybridization experiments to propose a laws of inheritance, but failed. Reason, they didn't use the statistical analysis and mathematical logic. Mendel was first scientist as a geneticist to use mathematics to put forward laws of inheritance. He prepared different kinds of ratios. They are well known to you: 3:1, 1:2:1, 9:3:3:1, with the help of mathematics. So iteration of mathematics completely different at the time. Reason, he introduced that knowledge to prepare the data. Second one, observation of characters, study of inheritance. Study of inheritance. Inheritance of characters. Inheritance of characters from a large sampling size. What is this? A large sampling size, a number of samples. So at the time of conducting one experiment, you have to take samples from different samples. Here, what is that sample? Pisum sativum subjected to artificial hybridization. Progeny produced. How many? Thousands of plants. Now, all these thousands of plants, he studied inheritance of 1 or 2 characters. So he collected data from a number of individuals, not from one individual. So he collected data from each and every progeny, 1,000 plants. So that provided more. Okay, so he observed a particular character out of a number of samples. Okay, so that provided more credibility, reliability to his data, what he prepared. That is a 3:1 or 9:3:1 so-called ratios. So large sampling means a number of progeny. Large sampling is nothing but many progeny plants. Many progeny plants. How many generations? For many generations. He studied that character. He observed that character for a number of generations. For a number of generations. For a number of generations. He studied that character. So that provided more credibility to the data he prepared. So his results were based on experiments only, not on the basis of unsubstantiated ideas. Substantiate idea means with the help of experimental evidence, proof, not on the basis of unsubstantiated ideas. This statement was given in your textbook. So his results, observations were not based on unsubstantiated ideas. What is substantiate idea? Means experimental proof. So simply based on experiments, based on substantiate ideas means experimental evidence for a number of generations. Okay, next. Fourth one, each time he observed, he studied each time during each and every generation, he study of one character, particularly one character, one or two, particularly one character, one or two characters only. He studied inheritance of one or two characters, easy to study. For example, we plan to study botany, zoology, physics, chemistry within 6 to 7. Leads to a lot of confusion. Is or not? Only study of one character, no confusion. Study of a number of characters, lot of confusion. Is or not? Right? Next, preparation of ratios. Preparation of ratios. Ratios, particularly phenotypic and genotypic ratios. Okay, right? And finally, Pisum Satim. You can use a Pisum Satim one. Also experimental characters. Experimental plant, that is a Pisum sativum with characters what is selected. Okay, so main one out of all these, the secret of success. First one was mathematical analysis. Next, large sampling size. He tested a number of plants for a number of generations also. And each time, how many characters? 1 or 2, less number of characters. Okay, so because of mainly because of these 4, Mendel was more than the contributions of other contemporary scientists. Okay, so that is about a success story of Mendel. And in 1865, after his experiments, he published a Laws of Inheritance. So before that one, we have to know what about the characters. How many characters he selected from Pisum sativum? And what about the total number of true breeding plants, true breeding lines selected by Mendel? In 2020, they asked, simple question. What about the number of true breeding plants selected by Mendel? Means parents, how many parents he selected? 14 parents, 7 pairs or 7 couples, simple. Okay, we will see those characters in the next class. Okay, my dear students.